Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 1. We would like to talk about the service-oriented architecture. Faculty is I'm Hudia Ramadana, and it's written by myself, Giban Saura, and Radi Haikal Walid. Acknowledgement. First of all, we would like to thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala because of His blessing and grace, and the entitled service-oriented architecture can be finished on time as ISAS requirement 2021. The paper is requirement to fulfill the assignment from Mr. M. Hudia Ramadana as our faculty, as we also thanks to him for all the guidance to complete. We hope this paper can be useful to all people, increase knowledge for all of us. We realize that this paper is still far from perfect in the arrangement of the content paper. We hope that the suggestion from all you can be a support to make us better in the next ISAS. Finally, we expect that it can be medium for the reader and deepen the knowledge about service-oriented architecture. Chapter 1, the background. The SO represents a popular architectural paradigm for application with web service as probably the most visible way of achieving an SOA. Web service implement capabilities that are available to the other application or even the other web service via industry standard network and application interface and protocol. SOA advocate an approach in which a software component provides its functionality as service can be leveraged by other software component or service to represent reusable software building blocks. SOA allows the integration of existing system, application, and user into a flexible architecture that can be easily accommodate changing needs. Integrated design, reuse of existing IT investment, and above all, industry standards are the elements needed to create a robust SOA. Definition of SOA. Service-oriented architecture is a software development model that enables service to communicate across multiple platforms and languages to perform application. In SOA, a service is a standalone software unit designed to complete a specific task. Service-oriented architecture allows multiple services to communicate using a loose coupling system to forward data or coordinate activities. Basic component service-oriented architecture. These are the three basic components. We have the service provider, service requester, and service broker. What is a service provider? A service provider allows access to service, creates a description of service, and publishes it into the service broker. A service requester is responsible for discovering a service by searching through the service description given by service broker. A requester is also responsible for binding to service provided by the service provider. Then we have the service broker. Service broker is a host registry for service description. It is responsible for linking a requester to a service provider. How SOA works or how service-oriented architecture works is service-oriented architecture works by passing descriptive information through XML files from one service to another service. A GUI application to a service and or a service back to a GUI application. Metadata describe the data type of the service allows as well as whether or not the service allows for node values to be passed through. The web services description language WSDL describe the service themselves as an simple object access protocol SOAP. Describe the communication protocols. User client who call service simply do so by passing an XML to that service. The service will then interpret the XML file for the information that has been passed to it and will return to the requested data.
Chapter 3, Implementation of SOA. SOA implementation can use one or more protocol and may also use a file system tool to communicate data. The protocols are independent of the underlying platform and programming language. The key to a successful implementation is the use of independent services that perform tasks in a standardized way without needing information about the calling application, and without the calling application requiring knowledge of the task the service performs. Common application of SOA include SOA is used by numerous armies and Air Force to deploy situational awareness system. Two healthcare organizations use SOA to improve healthcare delivery. Three SOA allow mobile apps and games to use the mobile device built-in function, such as GPS. Museum use SOA to create virtualized storage system for their information and content. Advantage of service-oriented architecture or SOA. First, maintenance is easy. Editing and updating a service is easy. You don't need to update your system. Service is maintained by a third party, and any change in that service will not affect your system. In most cases, all API work as it is working before. Two, same directory structure. Service have the same directory structure so that consumers can access the service data from the same directory every time. If any service has changed its location, then also directory remains same. This is very helpful for consumer. Three, prevent reinventing the wheel. The company can use pre-built service and don't have to rebuild the same functionality from scratch. Scalable. If any service getting many users, that it can be easily scalable by attaching more server. This will make service available all time to the user. Reliable. Services are usually small size as compared to the full-fledged application, so it's easier to debug and test the independent service. Quality of code improve. A service run independent of our system and they have their own style of code. So our code is prevent from redundancy. Also, our code become error-free. Independent of other service. Services are independent of each other. So service can be used by multiple applications at the same time. Platform independence. Service communicate with other applications through a common language, which means it is independent of the platform on which application is running. Service can provide API in different language. Example, PHP, JavaScript, and any. Disadvantage of SOA or service-oriented architecture. One is extra load. In SOA, all inputs are validated before it is sent to the service. If you are using multiple services, then it will overload your system with extra computation. High cost. SOA is costly in terms of human resource development and technology. High bandwidth server. As some web service sends and receive message and information frequently, so it easily reach 1 million requests per day. So it involves a high-speed server with a lot of data bandwidth to run as web service. Conclusion and suggestion. Conclusion, service-oriented architecture is helping business respond more quickly and more efficiently to changing market conditions. An organization can take full overall control with the help of SOA. Likewise, SOA would be great as an architectural evolution rather than a revolution. It captures many of the best practice of all software architecture. Suggestion. There are many ways to maintain security on the Windows operating system. It is important for us to know how to maintain the security of the computer that we have. System security can be in the form of using a password or PIN to detect the correctness of account ownership, which contain important information for the account owner so that data leaks can be prevented. So this is from our group. Thank you for attention. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.